Hello YouTube, Proxy here, and today I'm going to be talking about KINETIK, and no, I don't mean the motion tracking device from Microsoft. I'm talking about KINETIK, a co-op and multiplayer first-person and third-person shooter game set in a lunar environment. Survival in this game will be dependent on your ever-growing skills as a soldier. As a player, you can craft on a huge arsenal of weapons, gadgets, and even your own personal drone, which you can improve and enhance upon. KINETIK seems to have a lot of aspects from various games crunched into one, something that is becoming a common occurrence these days. So let's first break down each of these aspects and what they will mean for you as a player. Survival games are a dime a dozen these days, and KINETIK will contain the basic elements of most survival games. You will need to keep track of your avatar's health, hunger and thirst, and other basic elements of a survival game. However, what gives KINETIK its twist in the survival genre is the fact you are trying to survive in a hostile lunar environment, with the focus around abandoned military bases. And this will bring some unique challenges to overcome while trying to survive, such as limited oxygen, possible fatal extreme weather changes, and much shorter day-night cycles for the obvious reasons, as well as lower gravity and other issues that stem from trying to survive in a lunar environment. The initial plan is to focus on the Earth's moon and expand to future content in other regions and parts of space. And that pretty much sums up the survival elements. In KINETIK, a dog is no longer man's best friend. Drones now assume that role, and will be your loyal partner through the toughest of missions. Not only will you be able to build your drone from scratch using numerous lootable resources in-game, you will be able to customize your drone's visual appearance, weaponry and its artificial intelligence, and more to suit your needs. And while most of these things will be done pre-loadout before a mission, you can do some of these things mid-battle in-game, right before you loot some awesome parts in fact. So yeah, that's right, you can upgrade your little robotic battle buddy on the fly. And it's quite obvious they want to make this one of the bigger selling points of the game. And if customizing your own robotic companion is your thing, you are most likely already sold on the concept of this game at this point. Despite being a shooter primarily, KINETIK also contains RPG systems, via development trees and modification options both for the player and its drone companion. There will be 3 primary groups to choose from, and this will basically fall back into the traditional RPG Trinity system: tank, healer and DPS roles. This is aimed to create a rock, paper, scissors game mechanic, in order to promote balancing within the game. These 3 career choices will be Assault, Engineer and Recon, which will work in synergy with their drones to cater to the specific role within that group. Using that incredible thing called maths and this group dynamic, Hero Machine, the developer of KINETIK, wants to achieve a good state of balance and heavy focus on group play and tactics. At the same time, they don't want things to be overly balanced, as it may subtract from the element of fun. In a sense, they want to successfully find the balance within the balance. Balanceception. And I'm totally coining that new term. Each of these careers will have their own skill trees and progression paths, and specialized roles that allow you to become a brute force in combat, all the way to things like being a demolition expert. And it's worth mentioning as well that drones will get their own RPG-like skill tree and stats as well that will complement the player character's career. On top of this, you can pretty much expect other RPG staples such as getting loot, upgrading gear, crafting an extensive array of gear, and not just gear but cybernetic replacements which offer some really cool bonuses. But they also come with some potentially hefty drawbacks, and that's kinda cool that you can slowly become a cybernetic badass of your dreams, but at a cost. KINETIK will support both a co-op game mode and 4 players as standard missions, and raids supporting 8 to 12 players. Running these missions, you will encounter various NPCs, find loot, kill tough opponents, and complete the mission goals. And these mission goals come in the form of triggers and flashpoints. Triggers are mission critical items which can be acquired by squad members, where flashpoints are mission objectives where squad members must use the items they have acquired in a specific sequence while being protected by the rest of the team. Meanwhile, the multiplayer will run into 16 vs 16 battles, and I'm not 100% sure what game modes, if any, will be supported with this. I'm not really sure on the details of it, but it seems like it will be kind of like a team deathmatch, and some of the corpses of your enemies that you kill will be lootable. So what makes this game different from other survival games? What sets it apart? Well, honestly, without playing it, I couldn't really tell you, to be quite honest. But this is what Hero Machine claims will make their game unique over others. KINETIK will bring a unique perspective to survival games with balanced shooting mechanics and a cover-based system designed around challenging NPCs with advanced AI. KINETIK will offer crafting unlike other survival games with varied weapons, scalable drone AI, and a deep command system that offers limitless gameplay and possibilities. KINETIK is made by developers with decades of experience shipping games, meaning a firm understanding of what makes a fun game. Gameplay will always take precedent, and close attention will be paid to the game's balance, customization, variety, and level design. Well, it will be set for launch on Steam Early Access during 2017, and planned launches on Xbox One and PS4 consoles as well. The game is made on the Unreal 4 engine and it's pretty versatile, so it can easily port over to consoles. Now, things for this game seem pretty well on track. You can sign up for the beta right now via their website at www.kinetikthegame.com, and if you are lucky you will get to do some testing on this game and try it out a little bit before it even comes out. Now, the team behind this game is very small but very interesting. First we have Kevin McPherson, a software engineer with extensive experience in enterprise development, who began his career developing proprietary business software before transitioning to video game development. In the gaming world, Kevin has operated as a core member of the development team for Sony's landmark MMORPGs EverQuest and EverQuest 2. Kevin has also shipped several other popular titles including Radicross, Vanguard and PlanetSide 2, and in his spare time enjoys playing MOBAs with his son. We also have Mike Fisher. Mike is very well known for having served as CEO of Square Enix America. He also held executive positions at Xbox, Sega, Namco, Amazon and Epic Games. Mike has been active in game publishing since his first work for the 8-bit Sega Master System, and has led teams in the US, Japan and UK. And finally, and most interestingly, a very talented individual known as Matt Broome. Matt is an experienced game developer with over 14 years as a senior character lead and art director on multiple AAA titles for Sony. Matt has shipped 7 cross-platform titles including H1Z1, PlanetSide 2 and DC Universe Online. As part of his console development experience, Matt shipped titles on the PlayStation 3, including EverQuest Adventures Online. And when he's not making games, Matt is usually playing them, as an avid fan of multiplayer shooters going all the way back to the first Counter-Strike. Nice. Now, Matt is extremely talented when it comes to artwork. In fact, you can check out some of his stuff on his own website at www.mattbroome.com. And also for this game, he does some exceptionally awesome speed colorings and such on KINETIK YouTube channel. And you should definitely check them out, they're pretty awesome. I've always been jealous of people that can draw, something I wish personally that I was good at, but unfortunately I lack any talent within that area. Now, you may be thinking Matt Broome looks quite familiar, and well, he should be if you've been following Ashes of Creation, as he is currently working over at Intrepid Studios. This guy is an absolute hard worker and deserves mad respect for what he does. And this pretty much sums up the founders of the team. I do understand they have more staff than this, but these are certainly the bigger names behind this indie development team. Now, this game started up, or at least its website went active, back in 2015. And you may be thinking, why haven't I heard of this game before? And it's certainly just as good looking as some AAA titles. Well, in 2016 they tried to kickstart this game with a small following, with a few thousand followers on their Facebook. They had a working demo model, some nice concepts, proof that they could get things done, but alas, the Kickstarter only raised $33,000 out of their $150,000 goal. So why did this Kickstarter fail to reach its goal? And honestly, I don't think it's because of the game. The game looked like a solid product even back in 2016, and even more so in 2017. Honestly, I think the two biggest reasons the game failed to reach its Kickstarter goals were: 1, they overestimated their fanbase at the time. While over 10k people showed interest, only around 200 or so backed the game. This is pretty normal on a Kickstarter usually. A lot of people will support a game or think that it looks cool. More often than not, less than 5% of a game's following will ever throw down money for it. Also, I believe a lot of their following were console gamers as well, and the rewards were more focused towards Steam PC users. In some ways, they overlooked who wanted to buy their product. Before you go to Kickstarter, you need to get that fanbase. You need to make sure that a lot of people are willing to throw down hard cash to see your dream, that concept in your head, made real. Not just a vocal minority that say they will donate, and this brings me to my second reason for this game failing to reach its goal. They didn't promote their game anywhere near enough. I had never heard of this game till recently. If it wasn't for someone over at Guild Umbra who mentioned it to me in passing, I would have never known about it. And it's a little messed up, honestly, that a solid indie project like this, with good concepts, great artwork, and clearly a team behind it with a lot of love regarding what they do, is almost lost in the noise from lack of promotion. And that's kind of why I'm doing an overview for this game. I feel like this game should be noticed by Senpai. It should have some attention. Maybe if I make a video, a bigger YouTuber might see it and it gets some recognition that it deserves. I mean, we have AAA companies that produce games like this all the time, and here is a small indie company producing something that looks just as good, or if not better, than some games with huge teams working on them. And you know what I love most about this team and its game? I love the fact despite their Kickstarter not going as planned, they didn't stop working on the game, and honestly I admire them for that. In fact, the guys over at Unreal must have had the same faith in them too, as they gave these guys $80,000 to keep the game in development, and it's been an entire year since then, and this game is currently looking great, and I really think it just needs to put itself out there more to be noticed. So what are my thoughts on this game? Well, I think it has some good ideas. Survival games are a dime a dozen these days, in fact they are downright flooding the market. But at least this game takes some of its survival elements into a new direction, having to survive in a lunar environment, with a heavy focus on the first person and third person shooting aspects. And I really like the art style and the sci-fi design of the suits. I think this is one of those games I really need to get my hands on and play for myself to really know how enjoyable it is. But if it gives me a similar co-op experience that I get from games like Warframe or Borderlands, I will enjoy it. I love a good co-op game, and one with a working PvP mode to complement it sounds like a great idea. And unlike the other two that I mentioned previously, the plotline for this game is certainly more founded in reality, which does make it more unusual compared to the other kinds of co-op games out there. I'll reserve my judgment until I can play it though, and with early access beginning sometime during 2017, that shouldn't be too far away either. So if it looks like something you'd like to try out, or something you're interested in, check out their website, their YouTube content, and sign up for the beta. Well, that completes my overview of KINETIK, and I hope you found this video informative and useful. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave any comments or questions you have below, and as always guys, thanks for watching.